Okay, so a slide is coming? Okay, okay. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله على جميع محامده كلها وعلى جميع نعمه كلها. استغفر الله الذي لا اله الا هو ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك لحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope everyone is doing well. So the topic of my presentation is Mission Impossible. It's not Tom Cruise, it is not movie, but it's a very interesting title I want to address tonight. But don't think about Tom Cruise. Okay, so Mission Impossible. First of all, I want to start with one question. I'm asking you to answer this question. So in the next slide. Okay. The question is this: give an example for each of these questions. So the question number one: sometimes a behavior is negative and unacceptable. Do you have any example for this behavior? Just tell me, just give an example. There is a behavior, it is very bad and it's unacceptable. What is this behavior? Do you have any example to mention? Mesa? A very bad behavior that is unacceptable.
Yes, I can give one example in the Heathrow Airport. I was in the transit while coming to Canada, and they took me in the room, and they scanned me every possible thing. Even they scanned my shoes.
Mason, don't think about Tom Cruise, just example, a very regular daily life example. Yeah, that is, I know, that's great. So any example for the daily life that is acceptable, a simple example.
Yeah, especially if somebody is sick, is sneezing, or person have a flu, and they're coming and talk with you, and they're giving a shake hand.
Ahsant, ahsant. Yeah, if you are sick, you need to protect others from your illness, right? This is actually, if someone doesn't care, he has a COVID, for example, and he comes to the public and he doesn't care, so it's very bad behavior. Or another example, for example, if you yell at your parents, it's very, very bad. If someone yells at his parents, this is unacceptable at all. So give me another example, a behavior which is very dangerous. Do you have any example for this, Arash? Ahsantum, driving fast, driving crazy. This behavior is dangerous. Give me an example, a behavior which is not impossible to do it. Mehdi? Uh, Flying, we cannot fly, right? We cannot fly, right? Or we cannot, for example, move a mountain. It is impossible to do it, right? So there is one behavior, This behavior is unacceptable. This behavior is very dangerous. And this behavior is impossible. Do you know what is this behavior? There is one action that has all properties that I mentioned here. It is unacceptable, it's negative, it is dangerous, and it is impossible. What is that? Um, Someone's attitude. You're close. No. Go to the next slide. Trying to make everyone happy. if you want to try to make everyone pleased, it is dangerous, it is unacceptable, and it is also impossible. So this action, if you try to make everyone happy with yourself, it is not possible. It is very, very dangerous at some situations, and also it is unacceptable. Sometimes you don't need to do this, and why you are doing this. So this behavior, I call it as impossible, mission impossible. We cannot make everyone happy and pleased from our action. This is a topic I want to address today, and especially for the youth. Sometimes the youth, I know that there is no youth here, but you can imagine for your children, for your friends, whatever. So they are trying to make their friends happy. Or sometimes for ourselves as well, for ourselves. We try, for example, to make everyone happy. Some people are perfectionists. For example, a perfectionist teacher, he cares a lot that all of his students are happy with him. No, it is not possible. It is not possible to make everyone happy with your teaching style. Or it is not possible to make everyone happy with your lecture style or with the title that you have chosen to address in the community, for example. So, and we should pay attention. And sometimes, if you go to the next slide, okay. Before I go to this slide, for example, if you try to make 51% of people happy, you are a very successful person. And you may be a president of a society or a country. If you try to make 51% of your population of your nation happy with yourself, you can be a president, remember? So 51%, if you are able to make 51% of the population happy with yourself, you are a successful person. So this is very important. I mentioned here that we are not purer than Prophet Yusuf, but people accuse him for adultery, for zina. We are not better than Prophet Isa, but after a lifetime of effort, he was only able to gather a few companions, while the rest plotted to kill him. We are not wiser than our Prophet Rasulullah. They called him Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. They called him a poet and a madman or crazy man. In the Quran, these are, if you go to the next slide, in the Quran we have verses, in the behavior between Zulaykha and Hazrat Yusuf. The relationship that, Zulaykha proposed to Yusuf. Quran refers to it as a murawadah. Murawadah is the relationship between man and woman that Zulaykha offered this to Yusuf. وراودته التي هو في بيتها عن نفسه. And the story I don't want to mention here. And if you go to the next slide, the one that I want to mention here, Zulaykha referred to her husband, and when Yusuf escaped and ran over the door, when the door was open, and the husband of the Aziz Emirs, the husband of the Zulaykha, he observed what is the behavior. Zulaykha mentioned that, Zulaykha mentioned that قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك السوء. On the first ayah, ما جزاء. She referred to, she talked to her husband, ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك السوء. What is the punishment for someone who wants to have a relationship with your wife? She accused him for this one. And if you go to the next slide, this is for Prophet Yusuf in the Quran. فَلَمَّا أَحَسَّ عِيسَى مِنْهُمُ الْكُفْرَ قَالَ مَنْ أَنصَارِي إِلَى اللَّهِ قَالَ الْحَوَارِيُّونَ نَحْنُ أَنصَارُ اللَّهِ. So when Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, he noticed that, he sensed that these believers, they don't accept him and they are going to deny him, he referred to the people and asked them, who is able, who will stand up while who will stand up with me for Allah? Who is my helper toward Allah? He called the nation that who is going to help me for Allah? And only a few people, 12 people, they mentioned, yes, nahnu ansarullah. We are going to help you because of Allah. We are ansarullah. So Hazrat Isa, after a long time effort, only a few people believe in him. And the other people, the Jewish people, they wanted to kill him. And whatever they had done for him. For our Prophet Rasulullah, next slide please. In the Quran we have, they accuse him for sha'ir. They mentioned, بَلْ افتراه بَلْ هُوَ شَاعِرٌ. They mentioned that huwa sha'irun, he is poet. Whatever he brought as a Quran, it is just poet. And he's just poem and he's poet. Or, إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ. Look at the second ayah. وَلَوْ نَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ كِتَابًا فِي قِرْطَاسٍ فَلَمَسُوهُ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ لَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ. If we send down to you, O Prophet, a revelation in writing, and they were to touch it with their own hands, the disbelievers would still have said, this is nothing but pure magic. If we just write it down, if we just send down some tablets with some handwriting in it and give it to them, they also, those that they want to deny, they deny it again. And they say that it is sihrun mubin. Or Rasulullah, I didn't bring the ayah, but the ayah is innaka la majnoon. They say that you are crazy, you are majnoon, your intellect was covered with something, or maybe jinn has control of yours or of yourself, something like that. So we are not wiser, but people did that. There is one author in West, Wayne Dyer. He has Your Erroneous Zone. This is the book that he has it. In this book, he mentioned that it is impossible for a person to go through life without encountering rejection. This is the philosophy of human life. It is an inherent part of being alive, something you inevitably deal with, something that cannot be avoided in any way. So you may receive some rejection. You may receive some, for example, some negative response from the people. If someone, as a lady, as a Muslim lady, she wants to wear hijab, she is not welcomed in some society, in some community. But it doesn't mean that because to make them happy, I have to remove my hijab. No, it is not possible. You can think that this example is very extreme, but it happens. It happens in our community. It happens to your family. It can happen to your family. It can happen to your children. Because of the peer pressure, they want to make their friends happy. Because of this, they did something crazy. Do you know some children, they do something crazy because they want to be approved by their friends. Because of this, they want to make everyone happy among their friends. Because of this, they do something crazy. It is under the blue sky. It is not possible. It is very, very dangerous, and it is unacceptable to make everyone happy. We should understand this. In every action and thought, next slide please, in every action and thought, we should expect many to disagree and oppose us. Today, even getting over 50% is considered success. That's enough to become a president. Next slide, please. In every matter, behavior, and idea, we must expect many opponents and opposition. It's very possible. If you have a value, yes, for sure, someone doesn't like this value. If you are Muslim, if you want, for example, to keep your whatever Allah asks you not to do it, for example, there is a party, you go to the party, and there is a wine over there, you shouldn't touch it, or you shouldn't approach it. You shouldn't, we are not allowed to sit in a table that there is a alcohol, there is a sharab, there is alcohol over there. So we need to have enough courage to say no, I don't do it, right? So this is the way that we can preserve our values. I'm because of my boss, because of my supervisor, because of my colleagues, because of my friends. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to do whatever I don't believe it, or I don't give this. I don't consider this as a valuable thing. I'm forbidden for something. This is forbidden to do this, but because of the pleasure of my friend, I do it. It's very, very bad behavior. So there is one example, next slide please. This is from Ayatollah Allame Tabatabai. It is narrated that at one time a letter full of harsh criticism was sent to the late Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad Hussein Tabatabai. I, I think actually, when he published the Tafsir al-Mizan, the Tafsir al-Mizan, some part of the Tafsir al-Mizan, some scholars, they don't agree with this, and they disagree that this is not correct. So some people, some scholars sent him a letter. This story, my teacher Allama Karbaschian, he mentioned this to us. He was the student of Allama Tabatabai. He mentioned that the letter was sent to him, and people around him, he calmly read the letter, and the people around him expected him to get upset. But instead, they saw him stay completely calm, just like always. He simply said one sentence, which is very interesting. Next slide, please. The sentence that he mentioned, thoughts cannot be controlled. That's all. You cannot control every thought. People can think everything. You are not able to control everything. Every person, every people can think something different from you. You cannot control the thought. And this is the statement of Ayatollah Tabatabai. Very, very calm. Be relaxed and don't worry. Yes, you have written a book. You did lots of effort. You put lots of effort. You spend lots of time to complete the Tafsir al-Mizan. But if it is not acceptable by scholars, by the religious community, that should be fine. You cannot control the thought of the people. This is very important. We should get this lesson from him. So there is a story. Next slide, please. This is a very, very old-fashioned story. I'm pretty sure that you heard this story. The man, his son, and the donkey. Have you heard this story? It's the Greek. This is the ancient Greek story. Yeah. So there was a man, there was a father and his son, and they have a donkey. They were walking through a city, right? So at the first scenario, both were walking beside the donkey. People saw them and they laughed. What fools, they have perfectly good donkey, and neither is riding, neither of you is riding on it. So they changed their mind. So in this time, the father gets on the donkey and the son walked beside. So another people came to them and they said, look at that selfish man riding while his poor son has to walk. So they changed the scenario, the third scenario. The father got off and put the son on the donkey instead. Then another people came to them and they said that a disrespectful child letting his old father walk while he rides comfortably. So the fourth scenario, so finally, both father and son got on the donkey together. So both of them, they go on the donkey. So this time people shouted, this is oppression. It's very bad. They are cruel. That poor donkey is being overloaded by these two. So they decided to go to the 5 scenario. So this time, they put the donkey, they tied the hand and the foot of the donkey and put them in a wood, and some of them get the first part of the wood, and the son actually get this end part of the wood, and then actually they carry the donkey. And when people observe this one, both get off and carry the donkey on their shoulders, people burst into laughter. Now that is the most ridiculous thing we have ever seen. If you just want to look at the people's how they think, how they are going to be happy, you cannot make them happy. In any situation, you will to the scenario that some people they are not happy with you. So it is not possible to make everyone happy. It is not wise to make everyone happy. And sometimes it's very, very dangerous. You need to sacrifice something to make another person happy or another people happy, some people happy. We should be aware about that. Okay, so go to the another slide. Next slide, please. Next. Sajjad. Okay. You may not know the secret to success, but the secret to failure is trying to please everyone. This is a very good message. If you want to try to please everyone, it is failure. You cannot be successful for it. It is impossible. Go to the next slide, please. So this is from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, from the Amali of Shaykh al-Saduq. Imam Reza alayhi salam, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he mentioned that inna reza nas la yumlak wa al-sanatihim la tulbat. People's satisfaction cannot be possessed. You cannot make everyone happy. It is not possible to make everyone happy. إِنَّ الرِّضَى النَّاسِ لَا يُمْلَكْ. It was not given to you the authority or the power to make everyone happy. وَأَلْسِنَتَهُمْ لَا تُضْبَتْ. And you cannot, for example, to control the tongue of the people. You are not able to tell them that be silent, don't say anything. No, the tongue of the people, you don't have any control over them. So al-sanatuhum la tulbat, you cannot close the mouth of the mouth of the people. Okay, so next slide, please. Trying to please everyone in this world is a mission that is unachievable and impossible. We should understand this. And next slide, please. You can't live a life that pleases everyone. If just a few hearts are happy because of you, that's enough. This is a very interesting message. If you are able just to make a few hearts happy, that should be enough for you. You are not asked, you are not supposed to make everyone happy. Just remember, impossible, dangerous, unacceptable. Right? It is not possible. But if you try to make, for example, our community happy, that should be fantastic. You can do it. If you want to please if you want to make your family pleased, yes, it is possible. If you want to make your wife happy, yes, it is possible. But if you want to make everyone happy, if you want to make, for example, all of your relatives happy, no, it is not possible. If you want to make every friend happy, no, it is not possible. Just focus on some hearts and try to be focused on this and put all of your effort over those that you are supposed to. So this is another wasiyah from Amir al-Mu'minin to Imam Hassan alayhi salam. I just go to the translation. Next slide, please. Imam Ali alayhi salam described a situation, a time for his son Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. There is a time, and in this time, if yes, oh my son, in such a time, be like the Imam alayhi salam described a situation that at this time be like the young camel, be like the Ya bunayya fakun inda dhalika ya bunayya kabn al-labun. Kabn al-labun means just the child of a camel. La dhahrun fayorkab, he's not able to give anyone right. And also vala wabarun fayoslab, vala dharun fayohlab. So not strong enough to ride, not woolly enough to shear, and not milky enough to be milked. So be like a young camel. And what do you seek for such a people? If you know something, if you are learned, they are going to criticize you. In kunta aliman abuk. If you don't know, they will not guide you. In kunta jahilan lam yurshiduk. If you seek knowledge, they will say you are pretending. In talabta al-ilm qalu mutakallifun muta'ammiq. If you just go to the knowledge to grab, to understand some knowledge, to study knowledge, they said, oh, you are pretending person. If you abandon learning, they will say you are incapable and foolish. إن تركت طلب العلم قالوا عاجز غبي. If you devote yourself to worship Allah, they will call you a show off. You are doing riyah. If you keep silent, they will say that you are mute, you are alkan. If you speak, they will call you talkative. قالوا محضار. If you donate, they will say you are wasteful. If you save, for example, if you control your financial situation and you go to the balanced way, they will say you are stingy. If you are in need of what they have, they will abandon and insult you. If you disagree them, they will accuse you of disbelief. In فَحَوْزَا صِفَةُ أَحْلُ ضَمَانِكَ. And this is the characteristic of the people at your time. So the message that I want to carry to you is very simple. I'm done. So the message is this. It is mission impossible to make everyone happy. It is impossible, it is dangerous, and it is unacceptable. We need to focus on our duty, what Allah asks us to do, what our wisdom, what our intellect says that you can do it. Even those people that they don't believe in Allah, they don't believe in this scenario that you need to make everyone happy. So inshallah, with the help of Allah, inshallah, with the dua of Imam Zaman alayhi salam, we have enough power. We can get enough power, we can have enough power, we can have enough courage to say no in some scenario, and we don't care if some people they are unhappy with us. If Allah is happy with us, that should be enough for us. Please recite a loud salawat.